And the people who are doing 2 words should not get credit.
I know in Nashville, you just have to be sitting in the room and
Yeah.
you get on the publishing.
But then you think someone's girlfriend gets the credit when they shouldn't.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on the Elation podcast today, where we enjoy exhilarating euphoria through creation and collaboration. Today we are here with Julia Holt. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Good. Nice to meet you and glad to have you here in the space. Welcome to the Dolby Room. This is the first certified Dolby room in Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah. We're certified for film and music.
This goes post-production.
Post-production,
Yeah.
yeah. It's new post-production. You know what
Yeah.
a lot of independent artists have to get into the new stuff, which I know we'll talk a lot about. A lot of that stuff going on. But let's start with your origin story, where you're from and where you grew up. And I know you're here local. So what high school you went to? All the talk.
All right, so I grew up in Gretna, Louisiana, so within the New Orleans area. I went to high school at De La Salle in Noka.
Gotcha.
I played jazz piano at Noka.
Awesome.
And then went on to Loyola after that, studying music industry studies and business. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gretna. Well, my dad's from... Not Gretna, but my dad's from Lafitte, so we're down on the West Bank.
You're like 15 minutes away.
Yeah. But that's awesome. Well, so tell me about your journey through school. How did you start? And then I know you ended up with law school, but where did you start going through all that?
Yeah, so like I said, I was playing jazz piano at Noka, and then I decided I wanted to learn more about the music business just because I felt like I already had talent. I just needed to know how to protect my talent at the time. So
pretty smart.
Yeah. So I started managing bands, booking bands. I started my own company called Little Spicy Funk because it was the name of a song that I wrote.
Gotcha.
And then I started working at a recording studio, Esplanade Studios, for a number of years, and I was exposed to a lot of film scores being recorded and just really fell in love with that. And I went to law school. That wasn't plan A at all. Obviously, I was trying to be a performer. I was acting. I was doing music. But it's what I landed up falling into. Like, I wanted to go get an MBA just to kind of further that business acumen.
Right.
And I'm like, well, since I'm already doing this, just go to law school.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
just
you're
knock
close.
it out at one time.
Yeah, you're close anyway at that point.
If I get older and don't want to keep performing, I could just go be a professor or something. You know,
there you go.
Just have that.
No, it's. I mean, the music industry is 90% business, 10% art. You know, and so like if you understand how to protect yourself, you know, it's going to go a lot farther than just putting out music for for no reason or no actual background of how to truly get it out there and get heard, you know, and protect it. Which nowadays with AI and everything, it's even more important to protect your art.
Right.
Well, so. Tell me a little bit about your art itself, like jazz pianist. So, like, what's your favorite artist? What was the moment that you were like, man, I love music? Like, tell me about those.
No,
moments.
that was since birth.
That's
birth. You know, like even in the womb, you know, I was surrounded by.
So your family played music?
Well, my family friends would play music, and I would just start kicking during the jam sessions, but. It was just always around music. I would play drums at my family friend's house, and they would have little battles every year to see who could get the loudest toy. So we all got instruments every year, and I started playing piano early on. Awesome. So it was just always a part of my life.
Your journey, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. My mom used to tell me I used to kick for hot dogs and music. in her belly. Everything that was her kicks.
Yeah.
But same here a little bit. None of my family played music as far as musicianship, but well, not true. My grandfather played trumpet. But he was in the Navy band.
Mm-hmm.
But never played for me, ironically. But my mom was a huge music lover and
Yeah.
blasted music everywhere we went. And when I was a kid, obviously I got into it. She took me to my first concert.
Mm-hmm.
So like I get the family dynamics of it.
Yeah.
It can get you in the it can hit you in the heart,
Mm-hmm.
when the family does it. Well,
I guess as far as jazz piano, I'm no longer playing jazz. I'm
okay,
more of a songwriter for like R&B, neo soul. That's what I make for myself right now. I haven't been releasing music currently, but that's my genre.
I got you.
Yeah.
Songwriting's a big. I appreciate songwriting so much. I mean, honestly, when I was in LA, most of the people I had around in my studio were producers and songwriters. I
Mm-hmm.
did more work with like doing camps with songwriters than I did actually did with direct artists. I feel like they're almost more in tune with the music than the artists are.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel songwriters? Let's just take one aspect of the industry.
Sure.
How do you feel songwriters should protect their lyrics? What's the steps that you have to take nowadays?
Well, I would suggest putting it into a tangible form, whether it's making a recording of your lyrics, whether it's writing it down, and then going to the copyright office and filing a copyright, also registering with the performance rights organization, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, and doing those steps to protect yourself. That's, you know, foundation.
Right. And there's multiple ways to copyright it as well, too,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're copyrighting your music, there's multiple ways, correct?
Well, yeah, there's multiple options.
Right.
Yeah, you have a copyright as soon as it is in a tangible form. But if you want to pursue a legal action against somebody, you need to register it with the U.S. Copyright Office.
Right. And I know some DSPs will do that actually for you now.
Okay.
So like I'm with Vidya, and I have an option when I release something, and it costs me more money, but they'll handle the copyright process for
That's
me.
a nice thing that they offer.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love Vidya. They're great. But I feel like, I don't know. It's funny, when I was doing music in LA, I saw so many songs being done without any song splits, without
Yeah.
any background of what's going on. Some guy will randomly walk in the room and say two words and add it to the song, and then walk out and never get credit for it. There was a lot of random, natural happening, organic
Mm-hmm.
creation, which is fun.
Yeah.
But there's no money in that.
No. No. Yeah, you should have those split sheets ready when you're in a songwriting session. Allow everything to, take its natural course, but having a follow-up with a split sheet or having that at the start of the session is important. And the people who are doing two words should not get credit. Like that, do not.
Well, so there's a kind of back and forth about all that. Like I know in Nashville, you just have to be sitting in the room, and
Yeah.
you get on the publishing.
But then you think someone's girlfriend gets credit when they shouldn't.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess studio etiquette is another whole new conversation, right?
Yeah.
Don't bring the randoms to the studio
Right.
session. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, definitely your girlfriend shouldn't get credit. But hey, from what I understand, they consider it, if she was in the room or he was in the room, it's a part of the vibe, and everybody gets on the bill.
Yeah.
That's a great business way to handle it, which Nashville has a lot of business sense to their music world. Where has New Orleans, you think, gone wrong in that sense? Because we have a lot of lacking in the mentality set and the access to things, all that stuff. Where do you think we're missing?
There's like handshake deals, or it's just relationship based. So we're all going to rely on, well, we're all good right now. So if we have to think about this later, we'll sit down. And then a couple years go by, a couple months go by, and there's a dispute. People have a falling out. They call me, and then they can't remember the percentages, or somebody wants to have the song placed in a TV show, a commercial or something, and they don't have anything prepared. If the New Orleans artists would sit down, make their split sheets, go to the performing rights organizations, go to Sound Exchange, and register everything, they could allow themselves to commercialize their music quicker.
Right.
They wouldn't have to, because the way that these producers work, supervisors work, they want things within a short time frame, 48 hours, a week. They want to have everything
and they want
prepared.
No headaches.
Yeah.
They want no headaches because there's a lot of music that they can go through. So
yeah.
it's like sync companies.
Right.
If you haven't done that work, you can't submit to sync because they're not going to take anything that hasn't been properly registered.
Right. And if you're not registering your set list, the BMI, you're missing out on performance royalties too. So if you register your songs, you say who owns what, then you're just kind of leaving money on the table. Also, a lot of songwriters don't realize that they should be registering themselves as a publisher too. So they're missing out on the publishing royalties that come from their performing rights organizations.
Absolutely. There's so many different sides to it. And that's why I feel like you have to have a team.
Yeah.
Because to as one person to do everything and to know to do all of that, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah. Well, tell me about managing artists, because I know you manage some artists as well, right? Tell me a little bit about that side.
Yeah, so when I was first starting out on my career journey, I took on a couple artists that I would manage, and it was a lot of fun. Just getting all of the graphics together, making a plan, trying to think about a tour, and watching them grow, get into some of the bigger venues within the New Orleans area. So I enjoyed that process. I think at some point it would be something I would go back to, but right now I'm still trying to manage my own self, my own business. But yeah, it's something that I enjoy.
That's awesome. Well, and so your own business right now is the law firm, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I also started my own sync company.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
Awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We need sync companies here in town. That's for sure. I keep saying we have so much talent, but nobody's cultivating all this stuff. Mm-hmm. We don't have publishers here. We don't have label buildings. We don't have, marketing companies we can walk into to do certain things. We have the iHeartRadio building, which is corporate. You're not doing it. You're not doing anything as an independent artist there. So I feel like it's hard to be in that business here in the city. Even though this is the city, it should be easy to do that stuff in.
Right. We have so much talent in the city, but you really have to lean into being entrepreneurial.
Right.
You do. And you
kind of have to reach out the city.
You do.
In a sense.
Yeah. To find those resources or to cultivate that brand.
Right. And venues here in town, I feel like have shrunk a little bit.
Yeah.
For the independents. Unfortunately,
we lost a lot of independent venues during the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah, a lot. Some got taken over by larger booking agencies, and then we lost a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was sad. It was almost as bad as Katrina for us with the music scene because you couldn't play music downtown.
Right.
So we actually just talked about it with the last guest, like the emotion that was connected to playing music again, after COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lost a lot of venues, and we lost honestly we lost a lot of independent artists too. They moved out of state.
Right.
It was easier to do business in other states during COVID. So, but what would you think, let's see, as an artist nowadays trying to protect themselves from AI, what do you think is the most important practice?
Well, enforcing their name, image, and likeness, not signing any contract that gives, these platforms that are trying to use their art or their image and likeness in perpetuity, or use it in any fashion without their permission. Just really like staying on top of their IP portfolio, knowing what they're licensing out to other people, like tracking all of that. Also, someone like me can do that for them, sending cease and desist to take these things down. Or
is there tech to help out with that side nowadays?
I'm sure there's some type of software to enforce it, especially with there's different things with photography that can. But as far as music, I'm not certain of that off the top of my head.
Well, I keep thinking, and
if not, we can do a startup.
Yeah, so listen, I keep thinking in my head, and I don't want to give too much on the podcast because I do have it in my head. I want to do it, but there needs to be some type of fingerprinting on the audio that you're creating nowadays. I feel like even if you're using an AI program to help produce it when you bounce it out, it should be automatically fingerprinted with your information. So that way, if you create a sound, you play something on a synth that's somebody else's platform or somebody else's subscription that you're paying for, you're fingerprinted into that sound, or whatever it may be that you create. So I feel like we are going to have to get very techy in our actual protection, because it's nothing but tech that can take it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Like the metadata that comes out and
which, I know there is some metadata, but I feel like you have to get to a certain point to get to the metadata in your song. Meaning, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I open up, let's just say Native Instruments Contact, and I play a piano and I bounce out that piano, I played it. Nobody else played it. Right. It should be fingerprinted with my information right then and there, that sound. So that way, if it ever gets sampled, that is already embedded,
Yeah.
So I feel like we have to catch up with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the legal system's going to fall behind on that for sure.
Well, it takes a while on the tech stuff.
But yeah, the innovation.
It takes somebody to get sued before they fix it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, somebody's got to spend money before we fix things.
Yeah. Sounds like New Orleans.
Sounds like the whole industry, honestly. But listen, it's no different than samples. How many sample songs have you seen that get put out, make money, and then someone's got to pay a bunch of money back to an artist? With Pharrell with the blurred lines, right? Yeah. Marvin Gaye, I think, is who he sampled.
The Marvin Gaye estate, yeah.
Right. Couldn't clear the sample, so he just released it, and then paid him $5, $6, $7 million or something like that afterwards.
The audacity.
Yeah, but hey, he made $100 million off that song probably. So if you think about the balance of the business, sometimes it is what it is, and you got to force the issue.
Right.
But until somebody forces the issue, I don't think these software companies are gonna change the way they're doing the metadata.
Yeah.
But I truly believe you could have the software inside your DAW that you could put your template, that every time you start a song, you open up the program and you implement everybody's information right then and there, and then when you hit bounce, it's there. All of the information's inside.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do stuff like that. What about let's go back to performing.
Okay.
What was your favorite performance that you've ever done?
I think I enjoyed performing at Jazz Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I performed at Jazz Fest when I was still a student with the Heritage School of Music, the Jazz and Heritage Foundation's music program, and I always liked having the opportunity to go and do that.
Well, and I bring that up because you said the performer set list is something that you have to be very mindful of.
Yeah.
I don't even think I know that process. What is the process to setting all of that up?
Well, you just kind of write your set list for the evening, and then just send it over to BMI. Like you can upload it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if it's just like your album, the songs in your album in the same lineup.
Yeah.
You would just submit it to ASCAP or BMI.
You can. A lot of the venues have a blanket license to cover that as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's something good to know because we actually just produced a rock band here here at the studio. We put out. It's called More October. It's the band. They're like an emo Deftones a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But all local band here. None of those guys had ASCAP when I met them, and they put out music with other bands, but never thought about making money with it. It was all just, garage band stuff.
Yeah.
When I realized how little they knew, I was like, oh god, this is going to be a process.
Yeah.
But it was fun for me to go through it with them because, I'm 18 years in the industry now, so like there's a lot of things I've learned that I was able to pass down to them, and it's fun watching them learn how to actually protect and do their art, and make money with it. So I can appreciate, I'm sure, some of the feeling that you get from helping artists.
I do. Yeah. I miss performing as well, like sitting in on gigs on Frenchman Street, like Snug, and that was a good time. But I absolutely love just like sharing that experience with them, being a part of their team.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's great as an artist to have a lawyer or have a manager be in love with the performing part, because at least you understand what the process they're going through and the mental stuff that they're going through and things that they're going to actually need. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things I think that made me a good studio owner was I started off as a producer wanting to produce music, but you learn quick you got to find a place to make money, not just where you want to be in music. So I ended up doing live sound, which turned me into a studio owner, and now I'm a part of the music process. And I still get to produce some stuff, but in the end of the day, I'm more on the business side and the creation side, and the space and gear side. So it just you gotta kind of tune where you go with that stuff.
What's your favorite piece of gear that you have?
Ooh. That's a tough question because we are in my baby right now. Like this room is my baby.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'll give you the two favorite pieces of gear. My SSL board in my A room. I have an SSL 948 AWS, which was Linkin Park's.
Wow.
So their mixing engineer was a friend of mine in LA. And when the lead singer, Chester, supposedly killed himself. We won't go into conspiracy theories, although I got a bunch.
Okay.
He called me like 6 months later and he said, hey, look, I'm getting booked for gigs, but he had the board in his house, and it mixed and mastered the last 5 projects they did.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm not using it and I need the money. He's like, do you want the board? I said, absolutely. So for me, it was a piece of rock and roll history, you know, like I all those boards were handmade like a Ferrari. Okay. And on Ferraris and on those specialty cars, it was all handmade, which means that the mechanic, if he had a good day, that car might run better than the car before.
Right.
Same thing with boards. Everything is done by hand, and that sound had already been approved by the masses with Linkin Park. So it was like, I've got to have that board. So that board is very special to me. But I also, on a COVID came up on some Asperger's for the speakers, which I'm sure they're pretty standard in LA. But to have my own set of Asperger's is a pretty. I love them, and the ones I have were designed by Dave Pensato. So I don't know. I just those two pieces of gear would be my favorite. Good question. Good question. Coming from an attorney, So do you any like trial stuff? Have you gotten to like court where you've done any like?
Not yet.
You done any big arguments?
Thankfully not.
No?
No.
No, get it done before that process, huh?
Yeah, we just settle it outside of court.
Settle it out of court?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I know there will come a day or several days I will be in court arguing something trademark or copyright related, but that day has not come yet.
Do you practice in front of a mirror?
No.
Oh,
no.
Damn it. Well, because that's performing too.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. I mean,
it's true.
That's performance art. You gotta stand
it's my
there.
Monologue.
Do a monologue. And a friend of my grandfather's who ended up being interviewed for that movie Runaway Jury that was filmed here.
Yeah.
So the guy
John Cusack.
Yeah, John Cusack. But the attorney, what's the guy's name? The attorney for the defense. Not the prosecutor, but anyway, he wore a cowboy hat. He interviewed my grandfather's friend as his character because my grandfather's friend wore a cowboy hat, linen suit, very southern, talked with an accent, and had this character to him, and he was great in the courtroom. Yeah. You know, but God, I'm drawing a blank on the actor's name. But anyway, it was kind of funny because it's basically performance art. I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta make the jury look left when you're talking right.
You have to tell a story.
Yeah. But that's awesome. I've always loved law. I think if you're gonna go to school, there's two things, in my opinion, that you really should go to school for: marketing and law. Mm-hmm. If you can figure out either one of those, I feel like you'll make money in your life.
Yeah, I felt like I became more of an adult going to law school. Like they should have taught some of these things that we learned in law school beforehand. Yeah. Like why didn't we know all of these things?
Right. Yeah. Well,
about mortgages. I mean,
oh God, but financial literacy does not get caught at any point. And I mean, I'm 40 and I'm still trying to figure out that stuff. You know, some of it. You know, it just isn't. It isn't taught. Just give you an example. This place signed a balloon loan. Balloon popped.
Oh wow!
and the interest doubled, and you know, and now you gotta make it work now. Right. You know, so those are things that you gotta learn firsthand sometimes. Mm-hmm. But they should be teaching that stuff, especially financial literacy in music, because gigging and performance art and publishing and all of these different ways, sync companies are all different ways to make money in music. And I feel like a lot of artists just upload the music and do some social media posts and stop.
Everybody's driven by the urge to keep up with content rather than the urge to make good art.
Right.
And so they're so they're racing against trying to be relevant rather than trying to protect themselves, trying to think about this music is going to be something that my heirs take on later on, and making their name for themselves.
Yeah, it can be generational money.
Yeah,
absolutely. Especially if you look at some of these buyouts that some of these big artists have had.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously these BlackRock is involved in buying publishing from Nelly and Timberland and Taylor Swift, and all these big artists have sold.
Yeah, all these venture capitalists, hedge funds taking an interest
in it.
in.
They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on it because obviously it's lifetime generational money.
Yeah.
So to be prepared from the beginning to be able to do that in the end, right? That's kind of the goal. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, could you tell everybody where, if I get in trouble, where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Julia Holt Law. You can email me, julia@juliaholtlaw.com.
Awesome. And sync company-wise, how do I submit my music to you?
So, my website is zamari.io. It's ZAMARI.io. And you can email me music at zamari.io.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Is there any type of specific music you need for sync, or you're all over the place with it?
I am looking for something that's not exactly traditional New Orleans music. Like I like people who are based in New Orleans, but I like the R&B, pop, um, rock, funk. Just send it
A
my
little bit
way.
of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, great. Well, you guys look up Julia because you guys are going to need help moving forward if you want to make any money. So please, please reach out to Julia, and anything that New Orleans can offer for entertainment law or the music business stuff, please, please reach out because it's a huge necessity in your creation. So thank you for joining us today and
Thank
talking a little
you.
bit about it. And thank you guys for joining us today. If you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.